Thank you, Palo Alto. Thank you, Ohlone people. Thank you, water protectors. Thank you, all of you, for lifting us up today. I'd much rather spend my day out here with you doing this than watching sports or doing something that wasn't as energizing or as important as this is today. You know, one of the things one of my teachers told me in martial arts, he said it's spirit first and it's technique second, right? So our technique might be small, we might obey the green lights and the red lights, we might walk on the sidewalk here in Palo Alto, kind of orderly, but I got a whole lot of love for the spirit of this crowd. This is a spirited group, and we know you came out here with your heart and your determination to make a powerful statement. We want to acknowledge the indigenous people, the Ohlone of this territory. You know, as I walk close to my young brothers singing their songs, and I've heard those songs for decades, and they move something in me, they inspire me. I don't know the words of them, I don't even know if some of them are words. Some of them are just feelings and energy, you know, that come across, and it's real clear that it's coming from the heart. I learned the AIM song, right? Because I have a lot of comrades in the American Indian movement. In fact, I work with the All African People's Revolutionary Party. Thank you. And it was one of our comrades, Brother Kwame Ture, in 1982, who met at the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Was that 72? 82. He met them at the Bureau of Indian Affairs, right? When they took over the building there. And I was recently reading Dennis Banks' book. He said, we didn't intend to take it over. We went there just to express ourselves. But the reality was there was so much disrespect. There's so much disrespect when people stand up and want to talk to people who think they are empowered, that at some point they just snatch the mic from them. They just tell them to sit down. You have nothing else to say to me until you learn to respect the people. And that's what our young brother was saying over there. There's much more, and you know the history. This is history of stolen land. I'm a stolen person if you hadn't heard. African people were kidnapped brutally, right? And today what we see with this same kind of administration is trying to extract the last drop of oil and resources out of this land. In Africa, they are arming to the teeth. If you haven't heard, the African High Command, or AFRICOM, has been able in the last 2 years to establish drone bases throughout Africa. And we are not confused that they're there to help us in any way. Because all these cell phones and cameras and computers, we know they need the resources. Out of the Congo, where from 1998 to 2002, close to 5 million African people died. We didn't hear that. So we cannot rely on the media. We cannot rely on the history books. We have to tell the truth. And it's from sitting with each other. It's from sitting and listening to the elders of the Ohlone, the elders that are at Standing Rock, the elders of the people who have continually fought. Because there's only one way that we sustain this movement, and that is by following the truth. And once you know the truth, it's by living the truth. So our job, if you didn't know it, is to produce correctness and to produce justice. Because if we do not produce those things out of these movements, we're fooling ourselves.
Hello, hello, welcome from Seattle. It's good to be here with you. We did divest $3 billion a few days ago from Wells Fargo. And we are fighting in court. The children in Washington State are winning rulings from judges to stop aiming for climate disaster, stop allowing people, governments, and corporations to burn the air that they require. These pipelines are not just fouling water when they leak. They are fouling water when we fill them with fracked oil. Millions and millions of gallons of fracked oil. So I am working with the kids. We are winning in court. We are a group of kids around the world planting 1 trillion trees. So how many trees are alive on Earth today? It's 3 trillion, 3.03 trillion trees. Do not forget the 0.03, because that's 30 billion trees, and you don't want to hurt their feelings. 3.03 trillion trees alive today. These kids need to plant 1 trillion more. Why? So that they can have a chance at getting from 405 parts per million CO2 back down to a stabler, possibly stabler, 350 parts per million CO2 or less. We need to get below that. Every time we burn fossil fuels today in 2017, we are stealing from our children. We are eating our young. Everything that we walked on today, all the concrete, all the cars, all the banks we protested, are eating our young. And I can't take it anymore. And even though we're winning these victories and we're fighting these fights, we have to do more. We have to create new ways of stopping the poison now. We have to stop the poison now. We cannot do this anymore. Whatever we think we're doing, it's illegal if we're burning these fuels. So I took my hands, and with some friends, we shut off all the tar sands coming into the United States for a day. 15% of the nation's oil supply stopped moving. That's because of five old white people couldn't take it anymore. It feels like I'm living in prison right now. So what can they scare me with? Right? What can they scare me? What can they do? Put me in prison? I'll have a lower carbon footprint. We're going to get some solar panels on the prison. We're going to do some gardening. It's going to be all right. And it sounds like I'm joking. I'm not actually joking. That's a very efficient living space. I'm kind of excited about that. You know what else I'm not going to have in prison? I'm not going to have email. I'm not going to have email. I've had email for about 20 years. If I spend 2 or 5 years in prison, I might come out ahead. That might be better than the amount of time that I've spent on email in the last 20 years. I could get some time back on my life. So I'm looking forward to it. When I hear the tribes speak at Standing Rock, I hear them saying, "We have forgotten who we are, we white people." It's the kindest, most political thing you could say about the people who have wiped your people out. Right? We have forgotten who we are. When I grew up, I was taught that we are what we eat. And I do believe that. I do believe that I'm just a walking bag of food and water. I'm sloshing down the sidewalk. Sometimes I leak. I need to go pee right now. That's what I am. And I'm air. I'm breathing in and out. I don't know where the air stops being air and starts being me. And I don't know when it stops being me and starts being air. I think that's who I am. But I'm also something more. We are spirit. We are spirit. We are something magical and mysterious. And we have come together like a school of fish or a swarm of powerful beings. We are nature defending itself against us. And it's a miracle to be here in the most important time in history. And I want to share a few closing words from my favorite words from Chief Arvel Looking Horse, who I think knows something about who we are. To us, the chief says, as caretakers of the heart of Mother Earth falls the responsibility of turning back the powers of destruction. You yourself are the one who must decide. You alone, and only you, can make this critical choice to walk in honor or to dishonor your relatives. On your decision depends the fate of the entire world. We are living in the most important time in the history of life on Earth. It is our generation that will stop this destruction. And how do I know we will do it? I don't know how we will do it, but I know we must. I know we have to. I know that if we are human, we will do this. The chief continues and says, here it is. Each of us is put here in this time and place to personally decide the future of humankind. Did you think the Creator would create unnecessary people in a time of such terrible danger? Know that you yourself are essential to this world. Understand both the blessing and the burden of that. You yourself are desperately needed to save the soul of this world. Did you think that you were put here for something less? In a sacred hoop of life, there is no beginning and no ending. Thank you for stepping out of your homes and out of your cars and joining your neighbors and finding ways to defend everything we are, everything we love. If you have a relationship with a legislator in Washington, in California, come find me after this. I need your help to set ourselves on the path back to 350 parts per million. We're doing this in court. We're doing this in legislation. There's a hearing in Washington State on Monday, and legislators in Washington and legislators in California can actually influence the legislative decisions being made in Washington State, which will then influence the targets in California. We are going to set a path for 350 and nothing less. 350 or bust. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am so grateful to be here. You can find out more about the valve turners and shutting down and how you can help on our website. It's called shutitdown.today. I don't need your money. I don't want your money. I can't stand those oil-soaked dollars anymore. But my lawyer apparently wants some. So you can go to shutitdown.today and you can help my lawyer. And I would appreciate it. I'm very grateful for your time and your efforts here today.
Thank you. Thank you. Stop being scared, white people. Come on.
Wopila Danka, thank you for the work that you and your friends are doing and for the way you're serving. I'm so grateful. Stay here, we're going to pray. So we want to thank each and every one of you. We're going to ask you to make a circle so no one's in front of anyone, no one's behind anyone. We are one family all together and equal. So we ask you to make a really nice circle so we can do this prayer and end this ceremony in a good way. This has been a ceremony with lots of prayers and lots of singing and lots of good hearts. So we ask you to all create a circle. And I want to step in the circle. Standing in front of anyone.
Back up 3 steps.
Remember, we are all equal. No one here is any more important than anyone else. As Michael said, we are all spokes in the wheel. We have all chosen to incarnate right now, at this time. There's a reason we're here, regardless of other things you may think of why you're here. Somewhere you made an agreement with Creator to come here at this time. And the Creator's whispering in your ear at night. Creator's whispering and asking you, who are you? Who are you? Remember who you are. remember who you are. Not what they told you, not what schools have told you, not what the books have told you, not what your parents have told you, and my kids say that to me all the time. Who are you? Who are you, and what is your dream? And what is your path? And why are you here? Each one of us has gifts. Each one of us in this circle has gifts. One gift is no more important than the other. We are all here to share our gifts. I know my gift is not computers. I'm better at smoke signals. And kids laugh about it all the time. But their gifts are different than mine. My gifts are different than theirs. And each person in this circle has a different gift to offer this planet. That's why Creator has not made two of any of us. Each one of us is enough entertainment all by ourselves. So Creator says, let's just make one of everything. So it's interesting. So we're blessed. Each and every person in this circle has something to offer someone standing next to them. Before you leave on this day, shake their hand. Say hello. Find out who they are in the world. Not what they do, who they are. It's different. Sometimes we need to be something because, well, we say this all the time when we come back from Standing Rock. PG&E doesn't like tobacco. We've been off praying and doing ceremonies, but we have to come back and find a way to get that green to move around because PG&E doesn't like tobacco. They don't understand tobacco. So each of us has a gift. Each of us are here for really specific reasons. Not what do you do? Who are you? And how are you serving in this world? We want to say Tonkashila Unshi. We want to say thank you, grandfather, grandmother. Unshi Maka, thank you. Thank you, Ohlone people. Thank you, all the ancestors that we have walked upon on this day. Thank you to each and every one of our ancestors because they gave up things so that each of us could stand here. We want to say thank you to all those ancestors, 7 generations behind each of our backs. And we want to pray for the 7 generations in front of us, that we may wake up and protect so that the next 7 generations can walk upon this earth, grandmother earth. So the next 7 generations can breathe fresh air, so they can swim in an ocean, so that they can live a good life, so that they can know who they are, so they can find their passion, they can find what they love to do, and most important, that whatever they choose to do does not break their spirit, that their love and their passion walks with their spirit, in front of them, behind them, on either side. And Creator, when we get tired, and many of us get tired in this long, prayerful walk and fight, we ask that you pick us up and carry us for a while, till we get up enough strength and enough courage to start walking on our own. Each and every person here is blessed. We have the luxury to come out. There are many people who don't have the luxury to take an afternoon off, to come and even be with us. We pray for those people, Tonkashila Unshi. We pray for all the people who are struggling, all the people on this day that don't have food and water and shelter. We are living in luxury. We are living in luxury, and we take it for granted. Remember tonight what you're grateful for. Look around you. Look around that we get to go and actually still see the sky. Look around that we can still see the standstill people. And pray that those 1 trillion standstill people get planted, and pray for another trillion, because we need oxygen on this planet for the next 7 generations. So we want to say thank you, Wopila Tanka, to each and every one of you. And we're going to give up this mic to Mel, and as she says whatever things that she needs to say, remember we are doing a benefit on 220 at the East Bay Media Center for John Bolivar and his documentary. You are all welcome. There are things that are going to be distributed. We have a Facebook, Dr. Maria Michael. Please friend us. We're trying to get out news about Standing Rock and all things that are going on. Michael, friend us. Let's get your information out as well. We're working with Lakota Law Project. We're working with lots of different groups. Indigenous Environmental Network is coming on Saturday on the 20th, and we'll be talking with Tom Goldtooth on Wednesday night and trying to figure out how to support I Don't Know More some more, because Tom wants to come out and help. So we want to support I Don't Know More as much as you can, and also support Shell Mound and the Ohlone people who are fighting for the land. And as we're doing this, before we give it up the mic to Mel, we're going to ask Hartman to say something about I Don't Know More and the work that they're doing, because it's really important with the Ohlone people for this area that we walk on every day. And while he's doing that, I'm going to go around and shake everybody's hand. That's the old way. When we finish a ceremony, you shake everyone and personally thank them. Oho, metakias.
Hello. I didn't introduce myself earlier, but for those of you who showed up since then, my name's Hartman Dietz. I'm Mashpee Wampanoag, organized with I Don't Know More here in the San Francisco Bay Area. We're pretty much centered out of Richmond, so quite a ways north of here as far as the big picture of the Bay Area. But it's great to be here with you all today. We've also been trying to take action as far as divestment. We've had divestment actions in San Francisco. We've had divestment actions in Richmond. I mean, in Oakland, and we hope to have a divestment action soon in Richmond. We have the refinery walks. I passed out a bunch of postcards. Maybe y'all got some highlighting our refinery walks. We start in Pittsburgh, and we end up, we march, we walk a spiritual walk for one day of each month for 4 months, from Pittsburgh to Martinez, from Martinez to Benicia, from Benicia to Rodeo, and from Rodeo to Richmond, where we end up at the Chevron refinery. We go past the Tesoro, the Conoco Phillips, the Shell, I think, refinery as well, and we start at we started somewhere in Pittsburgh where they had the rail terminal, but they also have a number of other chemical issues up there. Join us, those of you who can, it'd be great. We also, we are an organization that is focused on fossil fuel and environmental issues, but we also want to be supportive of the Ohlone issues. They're not necessarily directly a part of our actions as I Don't Know More, but tomorrow, if you all can make it to the West Berkeley Shell Mound, which is 4th and University, it's where they had a 300-foot shell mound, which is the burial place for Ohlone people. And they leveled this in the early part of the 1900s, and they still have remains, human remains under the ground there. And now they're proposing to put an underground parking lot in and further remove other remains that are there in the ground still, in their permanent resting place if it was anybody else other than Native people. But for some reason, the Native people of this land, when we put our people into the ground, that final resting place is not expected to be respected. They dig us up and they treat us like that's the only way they can find out who we are. They act like they can't come to us, the living people, and ask us who we are, like we're not here, that we don't exist anymore. The only Indians that exist are dead Indians. And it's just not the truth. So we want to support the Ohlone folks in particular, being on their homeland. I myself am Wampanoag, I'm native, but as my brother said earlier on, if you're not Ohlone, you're not from here. This is not my indigenous homeland. My homeland's all the way across the whole continent. So I want to support those people of this land while I'm here in their homeland, to show respect for them, as you should be. So hopefully we'll see some of y'all come out tomorrow to that. We also will be planning on, we have a loose plan together, but there's going to be on March 10th, a march on DC, put together by Indigenous Environmental Network and Honor the Earth, and a number of other Native American nonprofit organizations. We are going to do a sister march here in the Bay Area. We have not picked the final location for this yet, but we should have the details finalized by the end of this week, and we will spread the word on our I Don't Know More SF Bay page. We have a Facebook page. You can find us. You can keep up with our information that way. So hopefully we'll see you at the continued actions. This is just one part of a very large fight. So it's great to see y'all here today. Look forward to seeing y'all again in another day, because there's a lot more work to do, obviously. A lot more work ahead. So thanks for being with us.
There is an organization that for 35 years has been bringing indigenous elders from all over the world, from Mongolia, from Korea, all indigenous elders. Their mission is to keep indigenous ways alive all over the world. And they have a workshop. I brought their things with me, and I'm going to put it over here on this table. Please take one. They need help. They spend an enormous amount of money bringing people in from all over. We were blessed last year in Labor Day weekend. There was a traditional elder from Nepal, an indigenous elder who have the Bon, a Lama from the Bon tradition who needed traditional doctoring. They are bringing traditionals in from all over the world, trying to keep our ways all over the world alive. Please take a flyer and learn about it. It's really important. And someone's passing out some flyers for me, I think, but please just help keep this going. We need to keep the planet going. We need prayers.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Heartland, and everyone, each and every one of you, for coming out today. You bless us with your presence, and we're bringing back the activism to Palo Alto. So thank you so much for being part of that. I want to especially give a shout out to my Green Party friends, because there are many of us who are burning green after what happened to Bernie in the primaries, and we are terribly, terribly active on a lot of different fronts, including election justice, including no DAPL, police brutality. We're GMOs, TPP, with TIPA, whatever it may be. We're active on it. We have a mailing list. We'd like you to sign up for whatever issue is really important to you. You can check the box, and we'll try to keep you posted on our activities on those areas that are top concern for you. And I want to just say that on Monday there's going to be a rally in Sacramento for pushing the CalPERS board that's voting Monday morning on whether they want to endorse Ash Calwer's AB 20. So in this next 2 days, whatever you all can do to send the links to your kids' teachers, to all your friends that may be teachers, and state employees, to ask them to please write in their support to their assembly person that they support Ash Calwer's AB 20, and that's going to be a huge blow to DAPL if CalPERS and CalSTRS defund. Thank you. Blessings, everyone.